So prompting is an iterative process. You're going to fine tune it over time and you're going to learn what works. Here's a couple of my favorite best practices, which number one, anytime you work with ChatGPT, give it a tone and give it a structure. So be concise, be funny, be professional. Something I love to do is, let's say I'm surfing the web and I read something from Harvard Business Review, or I read something from an industry guru in my space. And I really like the way they're writing, their framework that they're using from strategy. Just provide a link, provide a URL to the chat GPT, and it will literally create the same structure for you. You want to attach maybe one of your latest reports and say, use this report structure and provide me the same structure in the output that you deliver. Second thing, I always ask ChatGPT to give me sources and links, especially when I'm doing research or I'm writing things like ebooks or something, because that way you know that what it's giving you something that's actually true. You probably have heard of hallucinations, and just what a hallucination is, it's ChatGPT trying to fill in the blanks. It doesn't have enough information. This shouldn't happen to you guys. It doesn't really happen to me very often because you're going to give it enough information when you're prompting that it's not going to go off on a tangent. But sometimes it does that when it's trying to fill in the blanks and it doesn't know the answer. You can also tell the chat GPT, which I would suggest, to do something like, if you don't know the answer, don't guess, ask me more clarifying questions, right? Again, it's a conversation that you're having, and that'll truly get you some of the output that you want. One of the other things I love to do, because I'm a researcher, is support what I'm trying to do with research from the top consulting firms with articles from the last 3 months. And literally, it'll go to the web, it'll go to McKinsey, and it'll go to PwC, and it'll go to all these places. It'll look at what they have in their insights, and it'll pick ones that work with your subject, and it'll bring them back. And literally, it just does that by asking it to support it with research. And then finally, your format. You're always going to tell it what format you want to have back. Things like format this as a checklist, format this as a table, format this as an email. You might get something back, and this is where you're iterative. I want it shorter. Can you make it 100 words or less? One of my favorites is rephrase it like you're talking to a fifth grader. I like doing that sometimes when you're in an industry that uses a lot of jargon, because a lot of times your customer, potential customers, prospects aren't going to necessarily know the jargon that you're using. So things like rephrase it like you're talking to a fifth grader can help with that.